nothing. Fantastic game. So we're getting on to the finals next. I didn't really pay attention to it, so yes. So I'm gonna go and do a 5-minute intermission because I need some water. And yeah. So we'll be back momentarily, guys. Thanks for watching. iCCup StarCraft TV. Don't go anywhere. Finals coming right up. Alright guys, back, and we're ready for the finals. Game 1, coming straight up. Oh, of course, you know, the game just doesn't work. Yeah? Oh, I gotta go grab a sandwich real quick, be right back. Yeah, keep going. All right. Let's get some music in here. Which didn't work. And let's introduce our players for the real time this time. Spawning in the top right-hand corner. It will be members. You know, that guy from the first game we watched. And in the bottom left-hand corner, it will be Coca from the last 2 games we casted. So we have the, you know, the 2 finalists. They haven't actually had both games. I didn't even choose them because of that. I actually went through every single replay. And they had the most entertaining games. I haven't seen the finals yet, so I'm going to be excited for what to see. The map will be Paradox. And you can't see anything because it's awesome and I'm stupid and you need to see shit. And I didn't fix that before I ran away to get my sandwich. All the fun technological aspects. Oh, that's cool. What is that? What is this shit? What is this? Well, I don't know what's going on. But I'm too awesome to know what's going on, obviously. Okay, so give me a second. Give me a second. Yellow Terran's gonna be frickin' members. And frickin' Coca's gonna be purple. Refresh, and there we go. So, I mean, in this case... Oh, look at this, actually. Believe it or not, Coca's going to actually open with not a Forge expand this time. And actually, he doesn't need to, that's why. This doesn't have mines in it, of all things. Now, we do see members going to be throwing down that barracks and the south position so he can as quickly scout out his opponent as possible. Definitely a deficit that Protoss definitely does get. You know, maybe it's better to go for a quicker expansion because really you can't really get hard countered too badly, especially on an island map of like this, to die really quickly. Yeah. So Terran putting some interesting positions of building placement just for scouting purposes, I guess. But yep. So that barracks will be underway, scouting out the Protoss base right here. What will that be? That will be a cyber core. We can throw it down right away. So, Paradox. Don't really know too much about this map, so let's look at this map because that's kind of important, right? You have a in-base mineral only with 4 minerals. Kind of reminds me of the Blood map. I forget what it's called. It's not Bloody Ridge. It's fucking Bloodbath. Actually, there's a lot of mineral onlys here. Well, actually, you have to save the in-base. Yeah, so actually, you at most, if you control your side of the map, can have 3 gas. Wow. Gotta be a low economy game for gas at least, and that sucks for Protoss, actually. Protoss would love to get that extra gas. And if Terran can control... I mean, these bases are so far... that 3rd gas, though, is so far away. It's gonna be interesting if we even get to that point in the game anyway, but it does appear that members will be doing what most Terrans have done, opening up with a 2-fact and getting good in a start point to add some aggression, as Terran has been loving to do that. And that's really what he opened up in the first game with, so not surprising. And we'll be throwing down the control tower. Again, I still believe that throwing down that command center is not going to be such a big deal. It's just going to help you in the long run. But members, I mean, if you made it to the finals, I don't think we're going to have a screw-up where we saw... I forget the second game we casted versus the first game we casted with Coca in it, but the second game I overall casted of like the 4 that I've casted so far, including this one. I don't I mean, I'm sure he's be able to macro behind his aggression. I'm sure he can do that. And with that, I feel a little more confident in Member's ability to be aggressive. And maybe just be able to successful enough to kill off our Protest buddy right here. If not, well, that's gonna suck. But, yeah. So, gonna be just trying to deflect off this barracks right here. I believe he saw pretty much everything as really... We're not really seeing anything kind of facetious, I guess, coming out of Protoss right now. Coca gonna be killing off that barracks right here. Not a huge issue. You always can throw down another one, but it's gonna be a little bit of annoying if you want to go for, I don't know, a 3-fact build. And here comes the shuttle right now, coming right down at full acceleration with 4 vultures, speed shuttles, and look at this. Somehow Coca just knows, obviously map hack, obviously already going into position to deal with this. Wow. And this, I don't see doing a whole lot of damage, to be honest, but who knows. Vulture's actually going to be right at the corner, so I'm actually may actually do a lot more damage than I thought it would have done. But there are 3 goons right here. Do they have mines? 1 vulture does go down. Goons 4 and 5 are here. These vultures immediately get deflected, but we'll be putting down mines at the mineral in the expansion just to delay Protest a little bit, trying to make these vultures worthwhile to do something. They're going to try to get some scouting information done. They will see a robotics and a spinny forge, meaning that he's getting upgrades, and it looks like the last vulture will eventually get picked up by these 2 goons right here. That's going to be unfortunate if that mine does connect right here, and he will just lead with his goon, and that vulture will get cleaned up. So that aggression in terms of Terran has been thwarted off, but did see some valuable scouting information overall. But behind all of that, he did get up his expansion, even though really at any given time he could have gotten that up. Is that going to be a 3rd command center? No. He will be locked off of 2 factories for the time being. And still no Wraith production quite yet. It'd be an interesting thing. I mean, again, I guess I am a player to some caliber, but I call myself more a caster than anything. I'm not really a player. So the fact of the matter is, I'd be interested if you could get away with, I don't know, Wraith play, like just straight up went like 2-port Wraith. That'd be very interesting, because how would Protoss deal with that? If you kept, rallying Wraith, across the map, around the base, to stop things like this, where Protoss takes a 3rd base, that would be pretty awesome. But 3rd base will be starting to be established right here. Unfortunately, again, he didn't get the gas. And the gas one would be up 1 or down here. I mean, this map is... Paradox is going to be... It's an interesting map in its own right of how goddamn difficult it is to get a 3rd gas. And that even... I feel like that even just, like, makes Terran more territorial than any other map, where they're just going to siege up and just bunker up and be ridiculous, but... Yeah. So, anyway... he does have his Stargate coming up right here. He does have the Templar Archives being thrown down. I'm going to bet he's going to be going... obviously, with the Stargate and Templar Archives, generally that means Arbiter Tribunal to follow it up with. So, Arbiters. And eBay starting to fly across the map. And here comes up the factory capabilities. I believe this is the highest factory count we may have seen, because all of them have been pretty low. They haven't been super long games I've casted by any means. So, anyway, I'm going to be just throwing off one in here. Probably going to throw down a mine. Or does he have a... Unfortunately, he doesn't have an SCV in there. Huh. I'm going to be checking off this 3rd base location, though, of Protoss. You can bite my sandwich at the same time right here. So what's Terran going to do right here? It looks like he's going to take the mineral only. I can't really justify if that's worth a command center itself, but I guess it is. It's 6,000 minerals, so versus 400, so yeah. But regardless, Terran building up, getting up this high factor count. Now this is reminiscent of like a four fact really strong push. Which I think the idea was 6 fact, but regardless, gonna be coming in here with a decent amount of dropships right here. A third one's gonna be coming out right now. Is he gonna wait for that one? But it looks like he will be slightly intercepted right here, and it looks like he will be able to kill off the shuttle. I believe there was just a probe left in that, so not too huge of a casualty, but he did lose that shuttle, which does mean he loses mobility to defend this third. And, you know, this might be enough cannons to deflect these shuttles just straight up. And it looks like it will. So this base should be pretty much all but fine. I don't see how Terran can really engage this. The north part is a bit weak, just due to the one cannon right here, so it looks like he will just try to come in here. Oh, he may lose the shuttle, needs to be very careful. Nice reaction by pulling it back. The really last second possible. And really now we're starting to see, you know, a decent amount of this shuttle force, dropship force, kind of starting to roll over the map right here. We got 3 of them full of units right here. Hasn't lost any. Probably will just sit back in here and repair one, I hope, so he doesn't lose them. And that looks like it should be the case if you lose that in the mineral line at any time. Got to be getting up that 4th base right now for Protoss, the mineral only. But remember, Protoss is only off of 2 gas at this time. So, you know, same thing for Terran, which is really not. I mean, I'm trying to think of like how TVP works out on regular maps, and essentially, you know, Protoss wants as many bases as it can get against Terran. I mean, this map is going to be just more difficult to do that, and there's a lot of Goliath here. Can he spot that far? There's no way you can hit that far as a no. I don't see how that's possible. But looking back at Terran HQ, I mean, he has, again, 3 he didn't repair this. This is bugging me. Just like, it's this kind of thing that bugs me. And it's bugging me right now. And that thing is going to die with 400 minerals worth of units in it. And it's going to be like, oh, like, why would you do this to yourself? But it looks like he's actually maybe trying to secure this new base right here. With the amount of Goliath right here. Or he's going to try to pressure this. Either way, I don't. No, he's going to pressure it. For the love of God, if that shuttle dies, I'm going to be so pissed off. Here comes the drop right here. It doesn't look like the shuttle will get killed off of here. A lot of tanks, a lot of vultures. And definitely that's not going to be enough cannons to deflect all of this right now. It will be enough to deflect off the shuttles, but not enough to stop the tanks and the vultures and everything else right here. And he's going to load up everything back up here. And this is a beautiful play. And this base is goodbye for Coca. Coca does have the Arbiter, but even if he has recall, there's not enough energy for it. And not even enough for his stasis set. Oh, and he loses the Arbiter. That's the big deal. And Members is going to look in a really, really good position right here once he takes this out. He could take his own third, or he continue to be aggressing right here, because there's no way for Protoss to, you know, defend this right now. He's using his shuttle to pick up, you know, straight probes right now. He's only going to be able, this Nexus is going to be killed off right here. He has a decent amount of forces in the center, but that doesn't really connect to anything, unfortunately, as his dropships are going around the sides of the map, not through the center, unlike at the beginning of the match. So he's going to have to remake that Arbiter before he can really get anything done. He's going to have to use a recall ability at the main base and just pray that he can do something like that. But, you know, dropships also increase the efficiency and mobility of mech right here. You're not really going to have to worry too much about that. As much as, you know, you're not going to have your whole army in, you know, shuttles on a ground map, because that just doesn't happen. So mech is a little bit more mobile, I guess you could call it in this. Maybe not as much as bio, of course, but regardless, Command Center looks like it's going to try to be taking this gas one down here. Going to be claiming that 3rd gas, which is just going to exponentially affect, boost his meching ability as his Terran. And Protoss is just going to cry at that time. And Protoss needs to get something done very quickly. He has a good gateway force, and, you know, Coca, you know, does have that supply lead, but again, don't misjudge that. I don't see how he's going to be able to break Terran right now. I just don't see it happening. I mean, 5 drop ships now. I mean, and the Terran army may look small because, you know, this mech's already over here, and then, you know, he has 5 drop ships full of units over here. This mech army is massive, keep in mind. I mean, he just doesn't have the presence of that. And the supplies, you know, he's down 20 supply. But the fact of the matter is that he may just have, oh, but look at this, actually dropping these goons and stuff right on this base right here. Oh, but is he just going to avoid that entirely? Is he going to go on the main base of Protoss, force a reposition? This is going to be beautiful if this can do enough damage, or will it just be catastrophic? But there's actually a decent amount of a gateway force over here right now. There are no cannons to defend. And to defend these dropships. So this would be a good idea if he gets rid of the dropships immediately here. Tanks are going to be sieging up right here. They will be starting to use their siege explosives right now. But the zealots do cling onto the tanks, and that's enough of that push. And maybe we should have seen a little bit of reevaluation of that push from Terran. But he does. The important aspect, though, is that he did keep his 5 shuttles alive, and he only has, what, 1 starport of constant protection. He's probably going to want to start making Wraith anyway, so he wants to continue his mobility. If he loses these, it's pretty much just as bad as losing an entire army at this point, because he can't pressure. Back at home base, another Stargate coming up right here, trying to make 2 Arbiters at once right here. Could be sufficient. Again, he needs to get some kind of recall done. I think that's his best bet. If Coca can do that, it could be very bad. As considering the fact that a lot of members' armies kind of split around the map right now, and I mean, more so now when he's picking up, you know, 5 shuttles worth of units right now. Protoss going to be coming in here with about 4 shuttles of his own self, potentially trying to secure his own gas. Is there a probe in here? Doesn't look like it, and it looks like he, nice timing, will deflect off that command center for the time being, and 6 shuttles now coming in here. Is he going to try to kill off this force right here? He can try to siege up on the high ground. That's going to be killer. He could kill off this strafe. Actually, no, he could reinforce that force. Excuse me. These units are done right here. He may lose a shuttle, though. He loses a shuttle. Nice target firing right there. Does he get another shuttle? It doesn't look like it. He still has 5 left. And this army from Coca will be killed off right here. This mech army right here is just going to continue to sit there, making sure that this Nexus will never get up for Protoss. Protoss is trying to claim this bottom right-hand base, this 4 o'clock position right here. I'm not sure if it's going to go down. There isn't a whole lot of cannons right here. You can siege up on the high ground. It's going to be a very difficult base to secure right here. Terran has taken this mineral only, as his main base might be getting a little bit of mined out right here. Does have the double armory, but not really utilizing up to this point. And, yeah. So, Protoss. You know, I think this is why this map is going to be so difficult for Protoss. This is, and again, at iCCup, we're not trying to make balanced community island maps. It's more like have fun. But, I mean, definitely, you know, Terran is looking in a very dominant position right now. I mean, even despite Coca being up, or was up supply, I mean, now he's at a deficit, of course. But, again, we need to see some kind of recall or something. You know, what I've seen happen before as when I was doing my Capture the Flag tournaments, there was a player named Wands on well, apparently Coca GG's out, apparently with nothing happening. I was paying attention to the mini-map and nothing was happening. But anyway, Wands was a player that, excuse me, what he did was he made so many shuttles, but he made like 6 High Templar and got the